Hey everybody, this is my case study for AEP 58. So what do I know? I know that Truman Elementary School is about 700 students, pre-K through 8th grade. 15% of students qualify for free or reduced lunch, which is not that much, and 5% of students are ESL students, English as a second language. There's concern over reading assessment scores. PTO president sent a letter to the principal, which is me, and therefore I asked the district reading supervisor to visit classrooms, provide a reflection, and she presented 4 recommendations to improve scores and instruction. Basically stated that the instruction is outdated. We need to go to strategic reading, smaller instruction, vary lessons, things like that. And there's also a recent grant opportunity from state ed. So I need to know a couple of things why we're doing this. So first of all, why are we just finding out now that teachers are using methods that are outdated? We should be having regular PD. We should be having regular, curriculum meetings and things like that to talk about new methods of instruction. How have the ESL students fared in their reading? Are they better? Are they worse? How much work will need to be put in to qualify for the state ed grant? And do we even qualify for the grant? Because only 15% of students qualify for free or reduced lunch, so are we one of those need-based schools? The problem is that reading scores in the elementary school have suffered, and parents have started to notice, and they've started to put pressure on myself as a principal. After conducting a study, the district reading coordinator found out the school's techniques are outdated and simplistic, and we basically need to overhaul the entire curriculum and teaching techniques. However, can that be implemented without the grant money from state ed? So I have a couple ideas here and a couple plans of action. Oh boy. I want to meet with the PTO president and explain findings of the report, and that we will be addressing it. I want to meet with the superintendent, discuss the report, and develop a plan moving forward to apply for this grant. I want to make sure that he or she gives me the approval to write this grant. I'm going to hold a faculty meeting with staff, issue findings of the report from the district reading coordinator, and inform them of changes that are coming. I'm going to form a committee of teachers, administrators, Board of Education members, and community members. I want every stakeholder possible to help write this grant, and I'm going to use the curriculum committee to help analyze our school assessments and find areas that we can improve upon. I'd like to compare data between teachers who use strategic reading and those who don't, and research and create goals of this new research-based reading curriculum that we're going to show off to state ed, and hopefully the goals align with their goals, and they'll award us a grant. I'm going to hold PD days, professional development days. However, with that being said, I'm going to follow the contract with the Teachers Association. If I do want to have extended ones, I can have that as voluntary time. But I do not want to get in trouble with the TA. I'm going to implement a new curriculum on a trial basis in classrooms before the end of the year. I really do want to have those teachers that are using strategic reading to kind of show that to other teachers, use that as basically a guide. I'm going to submit a proposal by July 1st to state ed. And in the future, I want to develop a system to identify struggling scores and subject areas so that it doesn't take a letter from PTO to initiate change. It shouldn't have taken that letter. I should have been, as the principal, should have been on top of that. So a couple of the strategies used, communication with many stakeholders, including the superintendent of schools and the district reading coordinator. I really do feel like he or she should have been also on top of this and should have been bouncing around. She should have known that there were 4 areas that needed to be improved and that we should have been improving upon them. I want to analyze reading data versus math data and analysis of strategic reading scores versus traditional. I organized committees, organized professional development for our staff, and instituted a grant writing. So resolution of the issues. I'm going to give time for new curriculum to be researched, and implement it on a small scale basis. I did not spring it unannounced on the staff. That would have kind of freaked them out, and maybe a lot of people don't like change, so they may have pushed back. I developed a plan that will not only improve scores but also benefit students as they move forward with varied learning activities, small sided instruction, real time feedback of assessments. I'm going to hopefully have financial support to help implement these curriculum changes. And I listen to the concerns of the parents and I let them feel listened to and feel that their ideas and their opinions matter. I developed a safeguard to study future data and identify gaps so that this is not surprising. Resolution, again, I overhauled and developed a new reading curriculum that aligns with 21st century strategies. So again, small-sided instruction, varied instruction, smaller class sizes, different levels of learning. So if one kid's higher off than another, different levels of instruction. And I researched and applied for grants to help implement these new changes. So a couple of things I was thinking. Why did it take the letter from the PTO to get this ball rolling? Myself, I guess, if I'm the principal, I should have been on top of that and should have known these scores and where they're struggling. Why wasn't the district reading coordinator already doing these visits? Like, what is her job then? Why didn't she already know that these methods were outdated? This is going to be a massive undertaking. It's going to take 100% buy-in and support from teachers. They're going to feel criticized. They're going to feel attacked. They're going to feel under attack from maybe administration, and they might push back. So I have to reassure them, put their fears at ease. And this grant is a good opportunity to provide funds to pay for additional PD. I was feeling overwhelmed. This is going to be a lot of work ahead of us just in writing the grant, not to mention developing a new curriculum. I'm anxious. Can we afford this? Can we do this? And I'm frustrated. This data should have been red flagged earlier on. If I'm the principal, I don't know where I was, but I wasn't there. That needed to be seen. Shouldn't have taken a letter from a PTO or a parent to get this changed. And students have moved on or at a disadvantage going forward, so that frustrates me. I value the parents that spoke up about this issue. Without them, nothing gets changed. They really needed to do this. I value the opportunity to apply for this grant and the teachers that are willing to help on the curriculum committee and also the ones that are doing what they should be doing in the classroom and new techniques and varied learning. A lot of unresolved issues. So can I do this? Is tenure available at the school? What if older teachers do not want to change their methods? What is my recourse? What if they want to just keep where they're at? Do we have an evaluation method? Do we have tenure? What legal recourse do I have? What possibly termination? What if we don't win the grant money? Then what? What do we do? What new curriculum will we choose? Who will be held accountable over the low reading scores? Will it be me? Will it be the district reading coordinator? Will it be teachers? And how will we be updated in real time on new data? So I engaged families. I think as an administrator, it's very important. So I met with the PTO president to discuss her concerns, formed a committee, stakeholders, and community members to help write the grant proposal, and I shared this at a Board of Education meeting, which is open to the public. I communicated with the community by addressing their concerns of the PTO. I showed the scoring data and informed her that we're going to make changes. I presented the findings of the district reading coordinator to the PTO president, to stakeholders at the Board of Education meeting, and I came up with an improvement plan that redesigned the curriculum, applied for a grant, and presented that to the board with goals and where we want to be, projected data. I followed privacy laws of students by not sharing their names. I obtained approval from the superintendent, applied for the grant, did not force staff to attend PD that is outside of stated times in our contract. So therefore, if our school day ends at 2:50, all right, I'm done at 2:50. My faculty meeting is not, or PD is not going to last until 4 unless it's on a voluntary basis. And I did not require staff to serve on these committees. I had an open communication policy with the PTO and parents who share concerns. I'm going to regularly attend board meetings and provide updates to the changing curriculum. And I asked for volunteers from the community to serve on this committee.